Minimum wage earners, your time is now worth less than one soft pretzel in the mall. Don't think you're special because your time is also worth less than 1 pound of ground beef. Scam at the gas pumps through the summer, and where is gold going to take us as we come into this inflation wave? Food up and up through the summer. Get ready for the barbecue season. Signs to look for through the rest of 2026. Wisconsin food prices increased 7.5% ahead of 4th of July. Wait a minute, I thought our inflation was running at 3-something%. Total cost of 12 food items to host a summer cookout for 10 people, $75.50 in Wisconsin. Highest total for the summer since it began measuring in 2013. Not really a long sample size on that. I bet if we went back to 1970s and adjusted for inflation, it'd be higher, but it is what it is. Minimum wage, Pennsylvania, $7.25 an hour. Auntie Annie's soft pretzel at the mall, $7.29 plus tax, of course. Minus tax on your $7.25 for wages. That's where it diverges most. Imagine telling somebody that an hour of their time is worth less than a pretzel, and I would say, don't think you're special there. Pound of ground beef costs more than federal minimum wage from money.com. Covered a couple of these stories back over the months as it was running up into these. There's probably 50 of these comparisons we can do now. But I do want to put it into context here. Why is everything so inflationary at the moment? Picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, picture's worth 4,500. I know it's around 4,000 now, but give me some leeway with the slide. Gold price 2026, that big stack of money on the left. Gold price 1933, some change and a couple bucks on the right. This is why your inflation's running hot. Why you're going to pay more for everything. And you can just imagine as it takes hold even more, this Strait of Hormuz thing is not finished in any way, shape, or form. The knock-on effects are talking 7-9 months before it comes and we hit the peak of the inflation. So we're really just starting to see it now, especially through the summer months. You're going to be driving, gasoline is going to cost more, motor oils, fuels, repair things for the car, and the fluids are going to cost you more. Food's going to be more expensive. Everything, it's just prepare for this inflation wave. So whatever you need to do to cut costs in certain areas of your life to be able to afford others, you're going to have to start to prepare and put that into motion right now because it's here. We're no longer waiting for this inflation to arrive. Now you go into the store every week and you're seeing price increases. So just an FYI out there, if you have a plan B, you probably want to put it into play right about now. Because the world's largest meat supplier shuts down 2 plants in America, bad for beef lovers, good for automation and shareholders. JBS confirms plant closures, thousands impacted. First paragraph there, Sutterton, Pennsylvania, and a value-added facility in Memphis, Tennessee. These are lumped into, I guess, one category because if you look in the paragraph directly below that, Pilgrim's Pride closing in Chattanooga. So it's actually 3 areas, but somehow they've said 2. You do the math with that. I guess it's creative accounting. The company said the closures are part of a targeted network change aimed at strengthening operations moving forward. Creative accounting, get the share prices up. People out, 1,485 workers, bye-bye. We're going to automate you. You knew it was coming. That was a plan B that should have been put in motion, according to JBS. Thanks for the warning. And Kerry putting out the info here for us. Average beef price, ground beef, year 2000, $2.01 for a pound. That's the kind of prices I remember. And it would be on sale for like 85 cents in the summer. 2026, $6.74, but you saw that's more than minimum wage now. So that has increased even since its April 1st post. Pound of bananas, year 2000, 50 cents. 2026, 65 cents. So how are bananas able to travel 3,000 miles when a pound of ground beef only needs to move a few hundred miles? And the price difference is so just incredible.
73 miles off the coast of Antarctica and water so clean they're virtually untouched by human pollution lives a tiny organism that researchers believe may be one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory nutrients ever discovered. It's called krill. If you've been taking fish oil for heart, joint, or memory support, there's something you need to know. Research shows fish oil is 50% less absorbable than krill oil, because fish oil's omega-3s are in triglyceride form, while krill oils are in phospholipid form, which is the same format your cell walls are made of. That means krill oil gets into your cells immediately. In head-to-head studies, krill oil outperformed fish oil at improving cholesterol, reducing inflammation, and easing joint pain. Native Path Antarctic krill oil is sourced from pristine Antarctic waters, contains the powerful antioxidant astaxanthin, and comes in a tiny soft gel, no fishy burps. For a special bundle offer plus free shipping, head to getkrill.com/adapt. That's GETKRILL.com/ADAPT. Try it risk-free with a 365-day money-back guarantee. Click on that link in the description box below.
And don't tell me it's economies of scale, because these beef producers got economy of scale too. All uncooked beef prices bringing us up over 7. Augur Infinity putting it out. This is the newest price that I can find for you. It's creeping up around $7.07. Hey, lucky sevens. But don't worry, a good news, hopeful article here. JD Vance suggests U.S. could agree to unfreeze Iranian assets for purchase of U.S. soy, corn, and wheat. Bottom highlighted there, the money would actually go to help American corn, soy, and wheat benefit the Iranian people. Man, they're going to benefit greatly from all the genetically modified crops. I am telling you, they're going to love that stuff. And would that be the unfrozen Bitcoin, or would that be the unfrozen SWIFT system money? Yeah, that's why people are trying to get over and get out of the dollar-based world we live in, because you just saw it happen twice. Russia and Iran. Fool me once. Yeah, as the saying goes. Gonna blow the lid off the next story here. Beware. You're gonna get screwed at the pump. No pun intended. Well, yeah, every pun intended, I guess. This is a new one going around, so please be ultra aware, especially if you're traveling and you're not familiar with an area and you're just stopping in to get petrol somewhere because you're on the road and moving from one point to another. See that yellow arrow right there? Coming out from the city of North Lake Police Department. They're telling you check in the cradle to see if there's a screw there, because what the screw does is does not allow you to put the pump nozzle back in and then close the transaction, because that screw there won't allow that flat paddle to go back flat and stop your transaction and turn it off. If you used a credit card in there, then it'll keep the transaction open. And another part 2 of the whole scam is they'll tell you there's no way to get a receipt out of this, like the paper dispenser's empty or no receipts available. And a lot of people are just in a hurry, like, all right, let's go. We got the kids, whatever. Let's just get out of here, because you're so used to the pumps turning off. But in reality, it stays on. So then once they know that that has been paid for, they come in and they milk the pump. So if you see a screw on a pump, and then you see directly with that the receipt dispenser is out of order, they're scamming your card to be able to pull more petrol out of it. And then another location happens the exact same thing, showing you that a different type of screw was pumped in, but the MO is exactly the same. They use something to stop the depression of that lever that then turns off your transaction and actually stops the gas pump itself, and to be able to pump more and put more into a tank or gas cans or whatnot. So please be aware of this. You know, I'm trying to bring you the best I can, because I drive too. You know, and if I were to see this, it's so small, and you notice if you're in a hurry and you're not really paying attention, you're not going to notice it. And another instance of getting screwed, not this time at the pump, but on the scale. Brand new package, Jimmy Dean bacon, marked weight on the package, 12 ounces. Put it on the scale, 10.6. We saw heaps of this happening in Walmart too. People were actually weighing the different types of hams putting it on the scale, and it was far less than what was marked on the package. So we've come into an era that was very similar to the turn of the century from, say, 1900s to, say, 1915. Not the Federal Reserve formation, but the way that things got so scammy that in restaurants at the time, if people weren't and didn't eat like their salad, for example, they would take the leaf off of one plate and put it on another just to save money. This is why a lot of regulation came in the 1915s. You know, it could be an urban myth or whatnot, but it seems like we're getting back to that same scamminess before the entire system got reworked and an enormous amount of new laws and legislation come in. Again, well, we don't have enough already, but you can see the level that this deceit is coming to. And our society is degraded so greatly into this type of deceit is literally on the tip of everybody's fingers to try to make money because, well, the inflation's running high, there's not enough money. And it just seems like it's okay to steal now. Like the messaging has been giving out. You can be lawless, it's okay. You can scam, steal, whatever, it's okay. Like that's what we've degraded to morally as a society. And you got the nefarious ones, which are more plentiful by the day, low trust society. And again, when it comes to the corporations, I understand some scammer putting a screw in, low IQ, low trust kind of individual. But then when you come to corporations, that takes it to a whole nother level. And we're allowed this corporate greed and scamming to go on. You know, the entire thing of removing jobs, I get it. Automation, it's the same thing. Like they were worried about cars and horses and horse drivers when automobiles came out back in the day as well. But the pure theft of scales not matching what the food is, you know, because the food's costing more and it's taking more of our actual literal time because time is energy, energy is money, currency, the flow of current. So to charge that up, literally charge card. Why do they call it a charge card? Everything's revolved. See, the electricity, the aspect of energy going in to create this value exchange is being, well, siphoned at the moment. Somebody's filling a battery on the other side with your time. They're storing your energy in different ways and forms. As we talk about Bitcoin, just a store of energy. So that energy can flow around the planet much faster. But I digress here. We're really going to need to be buyer beware for everything. And that's the scariest part. When it becomes buyer beware, we become a third world nation at that point. Like I've traveled a lot around the planet, not boasting or anything, but I've been around and I've seen some, you know, nations where you go and it's buyer beware. You're on your own. Nothing's safe. I mean, you're constantly 100% attention because not only the road conditions are just atrociously dangerous, everything doesn't work half the time. And then everything you buy is suspect anyway. And, you know, there's a more than a handful of countries like that. But again, you're going to have to put on your A game of awareness moving through this point forward. You're going to have to weigh this stuff after you get it off the store shelves and go take it in and go weigh it on a scale in every store you go to see if the weights measure up correctly or not. Oh, and they'll say, oh, well, there was a problem with the one line. We're so sorry. We'll give you a coupon. You can go get another one, spend your time, spend your energy, and go get another one of our products. But nothing happens to them. If you get I would say, you know, if you do that, you get 100 to 1. So if you get a package that's misweighed, your coupon should not be a 1 to 1. Like, hey, we'll give you a free one. It should be 100 to 1. Oh, and speaking of more just ridiculousness happening around here. Okay, the cryptocurrency exchanges on the right, those are closing in Europe because, well, the Europeans want more legislation on top of how many hundreds of bits of legislation do they already have for the cryptocurrency market? It's the most stringent on the planet by far. So Binance, MECC, Huobi, BitGet, Gate.io, BingX, you're out. You need to withdraw all your funds off of these exchanges because Europe's locking up. And these exchanges are not willing to play. They're just like, whatever, we're not going to operate in Europe anymore. Get all your stuff off the exchange and we're going to lock it up. Not available for Europeans any longer. But on the left side, these are the ones that already have the licenses, which also operate in the States, like Kraken, Coinbase, Gemini, etc. So be aware, you got until July 1st, you still got about 4 days left. And speaking of Europe, on the left here, government deficits. And I want to compare that with the US. So if you look around and see who's spending more than they're bringing in from revenue, there's your heat map, for a better term. France, boom, pops out 5.4. That's why they have the most taxes in Europe. Well, England's no better, UK. But the United States on the right, far right chart I got for you here, 7.3% negative on the government deficit. Romania, yay, America's tied with Romania. I guess that's something to celebrate for the 250th anniversary. Oh, wait. Hey, surprise, US money printing up and up again. This is a never-ending thing we're looking at here. We're going into hyperinflation, slowly grinding. And everybody talking about how the M2 supply was tracking Bitcoin. Here's your BTC dropping like a rock. Money supply goes forward. Everybody's dumping it into the whole AI trade. When that spins off and reverses, everybody will dump back into crypto. And you can see the speed at which that's increasing. So you just know inflation's continuing along with that. That's literally the reason everything costs you so much more. And unless that reverses or slows down, the prices you're seeing now are going to continue to increase at the same speed, actually faster, because you know just the law of money, the more there is, the more inflation there is. And at some point you get into that jump literally overnight where things just go up in price, double or triple overnight. So we're at this crossover point, literally right at the point of the 250th birthday of the nation. We're bringing you some more videos through this time, and I wonder what the surprise will be, but get ready. You're gonna need to put your plan Bs in place right now. And one of those is gonna be growing your own food. Check out trueleafmarket.com, heirloom and organic seeds for any grow zone on the planet. Growing your own food, healthy, you know where it is, community-based. You can have friends and family over, you know what's in your food, you're saving money. And if you grow extra, you can trade your neighbors or others who are growing food for a day. You can up trade on that as well. So we're going to just rewind the clock a little bit here. We're going to have to start doing things our grandparents did, like repairing more, keeping things longer and repairing them. But again, you know, growing food was the main thing. Like, how do you store it after that as well? I do appreciate your time. Hope you got something out of the video. Please share with your friends and families. Hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell. Feel free to chop this up into shorts and share it around on your social media as well, because we need more answers. And really, you know, what are people going to do? I'd like to start comparing, like, what are people doing to, you know, to save money on certain aspects. On how are you saving money on food right now? Are you growing your own? Are you trading with others? Are you raising your own XYZ? That's a great discussion, because then others can learn what's working and what's not working. So until next time, bye for now.